Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Guys, so here we're gonna have to do something today. So most of the people they don't understand my YouTube channel, the format of how my YouTube channel is going to be set up. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to start everything afresh from the basics. So this is gonna be lesson one, then there will be another lesson that we're gonna have after lesson one continuously until we reach where we wanted to be, until you have the understanding of C++ language. So here is gonna be a lesson one. Today I'm just gonna do lesson one. So I just have to erase everything here because you won't understand what I did here because you don't know anything so far unless you know something. But the thing that we're going to touch today, it's not that much difficult, and it's not even difficult. It's not even things that are. It's not even a problem to everyone. So okay, so here I'm gonna just start by representing my compiler. This compiler it's a Visual Studio Compiler 2013. So you can go and download the latest Visual Studio. Visual Studio, the latest one is 20. Last time I checked, it was 2019. You can go and download 2019 if you want to, but this one is 2013. Everything is the same, I think. So, even if you are using DF C++, you are still welcome to this YouTube channel. Just that there are some of the things that this DF C++ doesn't need from uh, our Visual Studio compiler. And even if you are using code block is still fine. Then you can just relate everything that we're doing here, and then you're gonna send it to code block, so it's still fine, just like that. So today guys I'm just gonna do a basic thing only. That's this lesson one, we call it basic thing. So there are the things that we need to understand before we go further with this thing of C++ language. So the first thing that we need to do, we got to include the libraries. Those libraries are the access to our main function. So those libraries are the access to our main function for our function to run and to have something, or maybe to display the output. So it comes here on our libraries here. So there has to be a communication between these two. So here is the library that is popular, well known. So you need to do it before you go to your main this library. We call it include Iostream library, Iostream. So we need to do it before you go into your name. So this is the library that we're going to focus on today. So the next lesson we're going to talk much about how to create the variables, and also how to store some of the things in the variables, which is integer, double, float, and whatsoever we call it, string and char, which is character. So we're going to have to learn about that thing on the next lesson. So this lesson I'm just going to do the brief and the explanation of include Iostream and how it hinders us to use Iostream. To display some of inputs. If you don't have Iostream, you can still do that by using a std a colon colon. So you can still do that and display your things, so it's not a problem with that. So but as I just wanted us to do in a simple way, we can just try and include Iostream. So what we're going to do, we're gonna have to say hashtag. We're gonna have to put the hashtag there. So this is how we route our library. So we're gonna have to include hashtag there. Let me try to zoom on this thing. I want this thing to be visible enough. So what you're going to do here, you're just gonna have to say hashtag in include hashtag include Iostream. So we're gonna have to do this first. After that, we're gonna just write okay, using a name. Even the compiler, it does knows already what you are entering here. It does know where we are going. It does understand. Sometimes just show you the the settings that you're trying to enter there. Using namespace std. So these two things that we wrote here, they're gonna help us. They're going to help us to understand and also to write our C in input, our C out, which is a output. So here on main function, so we're just gonna try to write a C out. C out. Let me just say hello, hello, hello gift. So that's my name. So you can just say hello gift. So after that we end the line. So we end the line because we don't want this statement to come after this other statement on the same line. So actually when we end the line, we don't want this line to be overloaded by having the same text that we displayed. So we end the line in order to skip that line after this thing was displayed. So this is what we are going to do. So here, because we are using a Visual Studio, so you can just put a system you can just put system pause. System pause. If you go to my videos, I explain much about this thing. Those videos I explain much about system pause and system gauge. I mean, it's not system gauge, but it's conjugated H. So I explain much about this thing, how it's gonna help us. So we can just do this thing. So in dev C++, you don't have to put this statement here. Even in code block, you don't have to put this statement here. So you can even run it without this statement. So let's run it and see. So you're gonna see the output hello world there. So these two library, I mean this one library, you see that is the output hello world. I'm not sure if you can see enough, but here is the it's our output hello gift. So it's not hello world, I'm sorry. So guys, uh this Iostream library, it help us to display what we did here. So if you don't have this Iostream library, you can't display this thing using this method of cout. So you're gonna have to use that other method that I don't want to talk about it. That's something like this. That I don't want to talk about it. It's something like this. So you can use this method to display. So we can also enter our input using this method, this library here on top here. So we're gonna have to say cin. It's a syntax, and you must understand why we wrote this in. It's like we are saying input something. So after this cin, we have to write variable. Let's just say a variable, okay, name. So you know what's happened here. This variable has been underlined, but if we are doing other language like Python, it was not going to underline this variable like this, because on Python it's not important enough to initialize your variables. So when we talk about initializing, we're talking about another stuff that we're going to do into the next video. So the next video we're going to have to learn about initializing, and also how to write the variable. You can see this variable that I wrote here is not proper enough, so you're gonna have to understand why do we have to write variable like this, and then other things why we don't have to write variable like this. So we're gonna have to understand those things, so on the next video. But on this one, it's important to understand the syntax before we go further. So so this one it's underlying this thing because it doesn't understand what is inside of this variable, doesn't understand the data type. So that data type, it might be a char, which is a character. So let me just write a name. So this name must be the same as this one here. So you know this one, they underline this part because of we didn't end our statement. So now we end our statement, that error it goes. So which means each and every statement that you write, you can check here inside of the main function. I end up by writing a semicolon, semicolon, semicolon in order to end our statement there. So if I run this thing, it will ask me to enter something here in this variable, so that variable must store something that I entered inside of this name. So if I run hit this thing, Yeah, we are going to store something there, and then a child must know